Hey guys, this is Aryan and welcome back to One Stop Aviation. Today we are going to talk about airspeed indicator and airspeeds. Let's first talk about dynamic pressure and static pressure. Dynamic pressure is the pressure experienced by an aircraft due to its motion through air. Static pressure is the pressure experienced by the aircraft in case it was still. It's also known as ambient pressure. The airspeed indicator, as the name suggests, indicates what airspeed you are flying at. It is calculated by the use of static pressure and dynamic pressure, which are calculated by the pitot tube and the static vents. The pitot tube is a hollow open-ended tube which is parallel to the longitudinal axis of the airplane. It senses total pressure, which is dynamic and static. Static vent is a hole on the side of the aircraft which senses the ambient or static pressure. This is what the construction of the airspeed indicator looks like. So as you can see, this is the construction of the airspeed indicator. Pitot pressure is fed in through the pitot tube and is supplied to the capsule, which is dynamic plus static pressure because pitot pressure is total pressure. The air surrounding the capsule is fed by static pressure, and therefore we can see that static cancels out. So the capsule will expand or contract only in case of change of dynamic pressure. This through mechanical linkage is connected to the pointer of the dial of the airspeed indicator, and there is an increase or decrease of airspeed depending on the expansion or contraction of the capsule. This is basically how the airspeed indicator works. Now let's talk about blockages. For example, during the takeoff run, there was some debris, a small rock which came into the pitot tube and blocked it. Or in case of icing, the static vent got blocked. Let's talk about the different kind of blockages. So in case of a pitot block, during a climb, airspeed indicator will overread, and in case of a descent, it will underread. Okay, why does this happen? So let's talk about climb and overread. So in case the pitot is blocked, this is gonna stay the same, but the surrounding static pressure, because the static vent is still open, is gonna keep decreasing. This will cause the capsule to expand, giving a higher indication. Therefore, it's gonna overread. In descent, the exact opposite happens. The surrounding static is gonna keep increasing and it's gonna make the capsule contract. That's gonna cause the airspeed indicator reading to decrease. Therefore, it's gonna underread. Okay, so now let's talk about static block. So this is blocked, so the surrounding pressure is always gonna stay the same, but a pitot line is obviously still being supplied with fresh air. So in case of a climb, what is gonna happen is that the surrounding pressure is gonna be that from a lower altitude because you're gonna climb, and this expansion is not gonna be as much because this is surrounded by higher pressure in a climb of the older pressure from the lower altitude. Therefore, it's going to underread. In a descent, the exact opposite happens. This is surrounded by thinner air, by air pressure of a higher altitude, which will be a lesser pressure. Therefore, this will expand much more than it ideally should. Therefore, you're going to get an over indication. That's basically how the blockages work. In case of a leak of the pitot tube, as you can see, some amount of pressure is going to escape. Therefore, in a leak, it's always going to underread. Now let's talk about the different airspeeds. Each one is obtained from the other by adding or subtracting some correction, usually subtracting to get the better one. So indicated airspeed is the airspeed that you read off the dial of the airspeed indicator. This when it's corrected for position and instrument error. Position error is basically the location of something like the static vent where there's turbulent airflow around, so it's not sensing the right pressure. Something like that is position error. Instrument error is something like the capsule is not expanding at the right rate, or the marking of 0 is a little off. So therefore it's giving you a slight position and instrument error in general. When indicated is corrected for position and instrument, it will give you calibrated or rectified airspeed, that is CAS or RAS. This corrected for compressibility. So now what is compressibility? When you fly at speeds of more than 250 knots, in the pitot tube there is a packing of air because a lot of air suddenly comes to rest, so this senses an abnormally high pressure than what it should actually show. This error is known as compressibility error, and it is compensated for. So when it is compensated for, it will give you equivalent airspeed. Equivalent airspeed compensated for density error. What is density error? So the airspeed indicator is calibrated only to show the correct reading only at MSL. So whenever you're flying, you're obviously not going to fly at sea level, so there's always going to be some amount of error. When this error is compensated for, you'll get your true airspeed, also known as TAS, very commonly TAS. This corrected for winds is going to give you ground speed. So these are your different kind of airspeeds which you need to know. So this is what an airspeed indicator looks like. I have got this diagram from the Oxford textbook. So as you can see, this point is the lower end of your white arc, and this is your VSO, which is your stall speed in open configuration. Open means your full flaps down and your gear down. Here is your VS1, which is the lower end of your green arc. VS1 is your stall speed in specific configuration. This red radial line is your VMCA, which is your minimum controllable speed in air. This blue radial line is known as VYSE, which is your best rate of climb for your single engine. Okay, this is in case of a multi-engine aircraft, obviously. The upper end of the white arc is known as VFE, which is the maximum speed at which you can fly with your flaps extended. As we continue here, this is your green arc. This is where it ends at VNO. This is the maximum speed at which you can fully deflect any primary flight control without causing structural failure of the aircraft. This is known as your yellow arc, and it starts at VNO and it ends at VNE. You should fly in the yellow arc only in case of still air conditions, otherwise you could cause some structural damage to the aircraft. This red radial line is known as VNE, and you should never fly faster than this. This is basically what the airspeed indicator on a conventional aircraft looks like. This is what the airspeed tape looks like on a glass cockpit. For example, right now this guy is flying somewhere around 278 or 279 knots. So your different values will come as different indications over here, and they will stick along with the particular speed on the speed tape. This is how you see your speed in a glass cockpit. And with this, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you all learned something and you all enjoyed watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Till then, Jai Hind.